Oh, jeez. I think I need my snowshoes. Fingers crossed, in a couple days, we'll be slathering some beautiful maple syrup on our pancakes in the morning. Well, I'm just looking at a couple of my sap bags from here, and I don't see any sap in them. That's not good. Well, the chickadees are waiting for me, so we better go get them some seeds. It looks like a mouse, but I'm guessing a squirrel got into the seed bucket in the shed. Yeah, there's squirrel poo right there. But apparently he did not go unscathed getting that lid off the bucket. It looks like he left a few for the birds anyway. And there's squirrels up in that oak tree. Taunting River. Yeah, somehow they managed to get the lid off of this garbage can. Apparently I'm going to have to start strapping it down. Yeah, great. Look at that. Doggone things. We might have to figure out a little relocation strategy for Mr. Red. My gosh, what a beautiful day. It is so nice out. I'll tell you what though, we are going to be in some serious trouble this week if it does get up into the 50s and 60s, because this is a lot of snow. Well, if the temperatures are going to be in the 50s, we better get some snow in this cooler and get some stuff on ice. It's already. I suppose I better get the snow from way back in here. Pretty sure River couldn't have turned it yellow that far from the path. Ciao, Riv. We got some beaver for the boy. Little treat for him. Let that thaw out. I was going to eat it myself. It's from that job I did a while back, a couple years ago. And I was going to make beaver pot roast, and I never got around to it. And now it's all freezer burnt, so it's going to be a dog treat. I'm kind of glad the sap isn't running yet. I was kind of hoping I wouldn't come back to bags just overflowing and kind of be under the gun to get it boiled down. But it always takes me a little bit to get settled in when I first come up here, get unpacked and get everything put away and organized. And so it's kind of nice to have a little bit of time to get everything taken care of, instead of having to rush right into boiling. Crows are looking for their treats. Oh. Scoot your booch. Scoot your butt. All right, should we go give the birdies a treat? Give the birdies some lunch, huh? Well, what kind of tracks do we have here? I wonder if that's my fox. Yep, must be a fox. You can see the little toenail indentations right there. So I have had a bobcat here too. So I thought maybe it was a bobcat, but definitely those are two toenails. And as you know, cats retract their nails when they're walking, so must have been my fox. The river went down the hill here. I don't see where he went. It's pretty unusual for him to get very far away from me. Oh, there he is down there. What's he doing? He smells something. What are you doing down there, goofer? Looks like a deer bed, maybe. There's deer tracks for sure. What's he got going down there? Uh-oh. What is that? Is that a log or is that fur down there? River? Get out of there. Oh no, don't tell me we lost deer. Those are River's tracks. Oh, doggone, I should have worn my snowshoes. Yeah, I didn't never notice that before. There's some chalk on that birch tree right there. Oh! Yeah, should have brought my snowshoes. Alright, what do we got going here? Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. That's just a piece of hide. Look at how tore up it is. Oh. What do we got over here? It's another chunk. Hey, River, leave. Leave it. Hey, River. Oh, look at that. There's a hole in there. What in the world is going on here? Huh. Definitely something's been living down in there. You can see the... Oh! Gotcha. We got River. River's like, what the heck? All right, Rivy, let's get out of here. Come on. Well, when the snow melts over the next couple days, we'll have to come down here and take a look, see if there's bones or what we got going here. Huh, that's too bad. Well, with as deep as this snow is this year, it's got to be really... Oh, there's a couple maples there we could tap. Those ones are a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's a bigger one right there. With as deep as the snow is, it's got to be a horrible year for the deer. That deer could have just been a starvation victim too. The deer come right through this area here. You can probably see a little trench where their path is, which oddly enough, it snowed a few days ago, so nothing's been through here, which is odd. But anyway, I thought we'd maybe check the game camera and see if there's anything interesting on there. One of you guys said that you kind of wanted to see some footage of stuff on the game cam, so let's see what we got. We might be starting here. Looks like I got just a trace in that bag. So maybe tomorrow, maybe? Jeez, I think I need my snowshoes. I'm not the only one struggling in this snow. You know, I had to laugh at myself last video for tapping that oak tree, but to be honest, it's really hard to tell the difference between maples and oaks this time of year. At least it is for me. Now this tree right here, I would have swore was a maple. I mean, look how smooth that bark is. It gets the lichen just like the maples do. But then when you look up, it's definitely an oak tree. It's got oak leaves hanging on it still. So, lesson learned for next year. I'm definitely going to have to flag the trees in the fall. Just to make identification easier. Okay, why didn't I bring my snowshoes? Oh, for Pete's sake. Oh. Oh. This is ridiculous. I could just get up on top. Oh. My pants are gonna be soaked. Okay, that was not much fun. All right, well, we'll give it till tomorrow, and we'll go from there, I guess. Well, I went out and did a last minute check on the trees, and there's a couple of them that I have just a minuscule amount of sap in. And most of them nothing at all. So hopefully tomorrow is a new day and we can actually get something moving. So what I have here is some trim boards for the backside of that cabinet. I got them all stained up. I just need to cut them and apply them, but I wanted to bring them into the cabin to get them acclimated to the humidity and whatnot in here. I know some of the boards I put in here, I did not do that, and then they ended up shrinking, and so learned my lesson the hard way on that one. So I'm just going to set these aside, and in about a day or so, imagine we'll tackle that project. If I find a place to put them. There's a deer sneaking through the woods right there, and River's on the porch. Looks like there's 3 of the deer going through the woods there. You can see one right by the wood shed, and then there's one right in the beam of the porch. It's going to go right in between that 1 foot space between the door. Now he's between the door and the wood shed. See him? There's one there, and then there's another one coming in behind him. Right there. So I think there was 3 of them that I counted. River was sleeping on the porch, but I made him come in the house because he heard him walking through the snow, and I peeked out and he had his head sticking through the door. So someone had requested that I post some of the pictures of the game cams. So I thought I'd pull a card yesterday and take a look at it and see what we got. Typically it's mostly just deer. This is one of their typical paths that they use. They're a little skittish right here, you can tell. They don't really want to continue on the path, and I think the reason for that is, I don't remember what the date was exactly, but River and I had walked over there, and I know River left his calling card on the trail, so I'm sure there was plenty of dog scent. think at one point I had 5 deer on that trail. You had 5 deer there at one time. Most of them look like they're pretty young deer. You can tell by the shape of their snout there. And it looks like we've got a raccoon that came out of hibernation for the year. I'm sure they are pretty shocked. And over here we've got a fox. So that's probably the fox that we saw the tracks from, I would guess. And other than that, just a fox, a raccoon, and a few deer and some crows. But nothing earth-shattering. At least it's nice to know that the deer are hanging in there. Oh, there we go, back to the coon again. At least we know the deer are hanging in there. Although this raccoon looks a little worse for wear. And our fox is back again. He only made it for 1 frame though. He must have been moving pretty quick. And there was me. Find it interesting that at 3:20 there's a deer walking through the trail, and at 4:20, an hour later, I'm there pulling the card. So I didn't miss him by much. So speaking of game cams, I've always had several cameras on the property, not only for viewing wildlife, but for security as well. And I don't always show where those cameras are for security purposes. But one of the things that I decided to go to is the cell phone cameras. You know, having a camera doesn't do you a lot of good if somebody can just steal the camera or steal the card out of it. And I know they have lock boxes for them too, but you know, a pair of pliers or bolt cutters, you can get through a lot of things. So what I decided to do was go with cellular-based cameras. And part of the reason that I hadn't done this sooner was because cell service here was very spotty. And I think about 2 years ago, they put up a new tower not too far from here, and that has drastically changed my cellular service. So now you're pretty much able to get out anytime you want for the most part. So I decided to go with Tacticam, and you know, they make these cameras that have GPS built in, so if somebody does steal the camera, you can track and find where the camera goes, which is really nice. But I was torn between the Tacticam and the Stealth Cam, and I ended up going with the Tacticam, and I just want to give a shout out to Jason and Laura from JLG Woodscapes. It's a YouTube channel that I watch. You know, they use the Tacticams on their property, and so far they've been very happy with them. It's very nice to be able to have those images sent and those videos sent right to your phone automatically. So if something happens to the camera, you know, those pictures are saved either in the cloud or on your cellular device. So anyway, we're going to put up a few of these cameras today, and I will let you know what I think of them and how it's going. Mushroom and Swiss omelet. Good morning, y'all. It's such a nice day today. I think the boy and I are gonna go spend some time out on the lake and try a little fishing. All right, we're gonna head to the lake, so I will catch you guys later. If we catch any fish, maybe I'll make a video on it. We're doing the afternoon check, and look at that, we've got some sap in there. Not much, but it's a start, right? Better than nothing. Well, at least we know this one's a maple. I'm just gonna empty this because it's getting so warm out that I don't want the sap to sit in here. I don't think I'm gonna have enough to boil, of course, but Okay, and we're starting to get a little movement. I mean, nothing to write home about yet, but at least we know that it's finally starting. So in the next few days, the temperatures are really going to be warm. So hopefully we can get enough to do a boil. I've got 2 pots about this size of filtered sap water, and I know it's not enough to make syrup. I'll probably get like a tablespoon of syrup, but I thought, well, what the heck, it's not going to last overnight, and I might as well put some humidity into the cabin. If it turns into syrup, awesome. If it doesn't, I'm not out anything. So about that half gallon of maple water we got last night, we put on the stove and we just let it slowly boil down, and I got about 2 tablespoons. But my thought was, it's not enough to really use as syrup, but I've never tried making maple candy before, and I'm not sure how to do that. But I thought, well, I'll let this cool and see if it solidifies at all. Can you guys keep River's beak out of here while I go wash this pot? Thanks. Oh my gosh, it is so good. Oh, it's thicker than syrup. It's like a... I think if we would have kept... I'm going to have to Google how to make maple candy. But we're going to keep this cold for a while. Just see what happens to it. Maybe if I spread it out more, it'll dry. I don't know. If nothing happens, we're not out anything. I think I'm going to have to pull some of my taps from this side of the creek if it's going to be wet. At least I can walk in here for the most part without snowshoes, except there's some spots over here where it gets really wet. So I'm a little bit worried about it going over my muck boots. That's kind of why I want to move a couple of these out of here. Yeah, this section in here gets a little dicey. I got a ways to go yet, I guess. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I might have to rethink this whole situation. Oh, there's a hole there too. I don't remember if this is the main part of it or if it's up further. Oh boy. Yep, good thing I pulled those. So we might not be getting through here in another day. That's what I like to see. All right, I gotta get some more buckets. I think we can probably put 2 buckets in a couple of these. Now we are cooking. Nice. So I did a sap check this morning, and you know, I just had like maybe an inch or so of sap in the bags from yesterday. And I didn't drill those holes yesterday until probably right before dinner time. So I'm thinking they probably didn't run during the night when it cooled down. So hopefully today we'll get some movement on those. And if we don't, I don't know what to say. Like, we might be done. Might be done for the year. You know, I kind of showed you how it almost looked like there's a little bit of a tinge of color in the water. And I don't know if this is fact, but I thought I read somewhere once upon a time that it can get a little off color when it gets to be too late in the season. And I don't know how, like, how can this stuff be too late when nothing's been running? I don't understand that, but maybe it changes consistency as the temperature is warmer. I don't know. But anyway, that's where we're at. It's been kind of a bust, but it's the first year I've tapped here and only the second year I've ever tried to tap in my life. And the first year we did pretty well. I mean, we probably had 50 gallons in the course of just a day or two and had enough to make a gallon of syrup. So, I mean, it is what it is. Everybody's in the same boat around here from what I'm hearing. So I don't think it's anything that I'm doing wrong specifically other than tapping oak trees half the time. But even the ones that I'm 100% sure are maples, they haven't been doing great. I've gotten a little bit, but not enough to start the stove fire, that's for sure. So this morning, I'm just going to do a little tidying up in the cabin. It's really hard in a small space like this. This cabin is 12 by 22, and it's really hard to keep things organized because I just don't have the storage options that you would in like a real house. And plus I'm still doing projects in here, so there tends to be a lot of tools and a lot of like gear and packages of bolts and screws and that kind of stuff always laying around. But it is what it is. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel for the interior of the cabin. I just have to do some things on that cabinet to finish them up, and then some trim work and the water to get running water in here off of an RV pump. That will be my last big project, and then for the most part the interior will be done. And then it's time to move outside for the summer season to do outdoor projects. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So like I said, I'm just going to do a little bit of cabin cleanup and get things into a space where I don't feel like I'm living in a pig pen. So I will catch you guys later and we'll see if we can't find something fun to do today. What is he doing? He's like walking around through the water. Weirdo. It's just starting to get little bits. But it's so warm out that it doesn't last very long is the problem. So, I suppose we're going to dump it out one way or the other. Might as well save it. That was hardly worth it. Okay, well clearly I'm not harvesting this to boil sap, but from what I understand, sap can go bad above 40 degrees. So I thought, well, if it does start running today, I don't want the old stuff that might be a little funky in there to contaminate any of the good sap that's just coming fresh. And my little creek is starting to flow. Time for the afternoon sap check. I can see a couple of these bags out my window of the cabin. I've been working inside on some putsy stuff, and I can tell from inside that it's not looking good for the home team. But I suppose we better empty out anything that is in there before it gets all skunky. Well, I would say it is a wise choice that we pulled all the buckets on the other side of the creek yesterday, because that is probably over knee deep at this point. Maybe thigh deep. So that would have been not a lot of fun. Well, we tried. We knew this was coming, right? It's just hard to believe that 4 days ago, I was crotch deep in the snow. And now it's almost all gone. Now my sap buckets are floating. Well, I'll give it a few days and we'll see what happens. Well, maybe this rain will help the frost go out and it'll drain some of the water. Yeah, we don't really have anything going. A little bit more than the other day, but let's take a look at the creek. It's running a little bit, not too bad. Well, everybody, I'm sorry I didn't have a great maple syrup boil-in video for you. I was really excited. You know, making syrup is one of those things that I've been waiting years and years to do for retirement so that I would have time to do it. You know, it's one of those things where you just can't let it sit in the bucket for days or it can go bad, so you need to boil it when you need to boil it. So I'm pretty disappointed that this year was a bust, but I guess we have next week still. It's supposed to be cold, so maybe that'll be the ticket. But from what I'm hearing, everybody's been kind of in the same boat. They haven't had much luck just because of the warm weather. So you can't change what you can't change. You just gotta accept it. But anyway, River and I, we're gonna hit the road, and I will see you guys in a couple days. And as always, we will see you soon. The snow was 1.5 feet higher on top of this raised bed just a couple days ago. All right. Well, goodbye, muddy cabin. We will see you very soon.